Hello world, good to be with you again, always good to be with you. Welcome to the shortest 30 minutes on television, The Ken Simmons Show. For Area 58, I am Ken Simmons, and I'm going to be with you for a little while. I've got a guest. She's going to be very interesting to listen to, so don't go away. Take your shoes off, pour yourself your favorite beverage, and stick around. You know, I had a cup of coffee before I came in here, and I heard one of the guys up the end of the bar, so I don't know who he was, but I heard him say to his friend, that guy down there with the orange coat looks like he used to work for Howard Johnson's. That's not very nice to say. I think I look pretty. You know, I'd be very remiss, terribly remiss, if I didn't mention that horrible tragedy in Florida. 17 people lost their lives because of some alleged maniac that had a gun. You know what surprised me? This kid was 19 years old, not old enough yet to vote, not old enough to buy alcohol, but he can buy a semi-automatic weapon. Does that make any sense to any of you out there? Don't we have to do something? Isn't it time? All these tragedies that are happening all over the country, unnecessarily. This one, the FBI, according to the television station I look at, had ample warning and didn't do anything about it. The local police called on his house 39 times. My word, doesn't that signal something? And yet this guy bought an automatic weapon legally. I don't know. I just don't get it. But I know one thing, we got to do something. It's time to do something. I had a cup of coffee with a guy down the Plymouth waterfront yesterday. He's from England. He's an English national. He's now a naturalized American citizen because he loves this country. He respects this country. But he said the rest of the world is wondering what the devil is going on in America with all these problems. I don't know. I'm very, very sad about that. 17 young men and women no longer with us. It's not just them either. Their mothers, their fathers, their grandfathers, their grandmothers, their aunts, their uncles, their girlfriends, their friends. These people are all suffering too. You know, I have two children, two boys. And if I lost one of them now, when they're 62 and 58, I would be devastated. Imagine what it is when they're 17 years old, just blossoming into adulthood, just starting and thinking and talking about careers. Oh my word, that's got to be the worst thing in the world that can happen to a parent. Well, let's see what happens. I'm a firm defender of the Second Amendment. I have rifles, I have weapons, but there's got to be better regulation. Don't you agree? All right, let's lighten it up a little bit. What do they call, this is a question for you. I'm going to give you the question. I'm going to give you the answer. What do they call a dinosaur that keeps having automobile accidents? Think about it for a minute. They call them Tyrannosaurus Rex. Nobody here in the studio is even smiling. You're going to think about it, guys. Okay, I'm going to give you my guest. We're going to talk about a lot of things. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. A little discussion here about my little joke, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Only one person got it, and the others, well, they're guys. The one who got it was a female. I hate to say that, but there it is. Females are the smarter of the two sexes, I think. All right. I'm going to introduce you now to my guest. You know, we're talking about the COA. We had a lady who's the director of the COA in Halifax. Her name is Barbara Brenton. She's a very knowledgeable lady, a very hardworking lady, been at it for, I believe, 9 years. And I was hoping she'd be here today, but She's not. She's at a meeting, at a board meeting, so that's very important. But we have what they call an outreach person in the COA. Now, until Barbara got here and we got talking, I really didn't know what the COA was all about. COA, by the way, is Council on Aging. I always thought, Council on Aging, I don't need that because I know how to grow old. There's no way you can stop it anyway. And someday I will be old. Oh, now that gets some laughs. That gets some laughs. Anyway, let me introduce you to a lady who does know something about the COA and something about the outreach program, and her name is Barbara.
Brenda Fitzgerald.
Brenda Fitzgerald. Okay, you know, she told me that before and on camera. I'm old. Brenda, how are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. You're a little nervous, and that's understandable, but when we get rolling here, you're going to be fine.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you some personal questions, if I may.
Sure.
Are you a college graduate?
I am not.
You are not. Okay. Are you married?
I am not.
You are not. Do you have children?
I do.
You do. How many?
2.
2. Their ages?
17 and 20.
17 and 20. Really? My God, you don't look that old.
Thank you.
Are they the 20-year-old going to college?
Yep, they both. My 17-year-old is a senior at Silver Lake. She'll be going to college this year, and my 20-year-old is also a college student.
Where?
Quincy College.
That's great. That's great. You must be very proud of them.
I am.
You must take these things that happen, like what happened in Florida. We got a 17-year-old girl.
Correct.
And do you think about that? Do you think what could it happen?
I do think of that, and I've asked my daughter, you know, are they having frequent drills at school and educate and talk about it, talk about what they're seeing on TV, make sure you try to ease any fears they're having. We don't want our children to feel afraid to go to school.
Now that's the big, you know, a kid today going to school shouldn't have to be afraid.
Right.
He or she should be able to go to school and enjoy what the school has to offer,
right,
without that thought that maybe someday some guy's going to come in here
right,
with a bow and arrow or a gun or whatever. I think I just feel so bad about that. You know, and at my age, it really doesn't affect me. Except, yeah, it does affect me. Because these are my kids, too.
That's right.
These are the ones that are going to run our country someday.
Correct.
And who knows, that guy might have shot another Einstein or another President Lincoln or another, who knows? Who knows? All right, how long have you been doing this COA thing as an outreach person?
I have been at the Halifax Council on Aging for 18, 19 months.
18, 19 months. Have you been someplace else?
I've worked in geriatrics for almost 30 years.
Geriatrics?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's the care of older people?
Correct.
Yeah. Were you work in rest homes or hospitals?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And why did you stop doing that?
I was offered this opportunity and I went for it. Put in my resume and interviewed and was able to get the job.
Are you a nurse?
I'm not.
You're a practical nurse?
Nope.
No, nothing. Okay. Where did you work?
I've worked mostly as a home health aide for different VNA services.
Where?
In a couple of hospitals here in the area.
Okay. All right. Do you do any of that kind of work now?
I still do, yes.
Okay. Part-time?
Yes.
Do you like the COA?
I love my job.
Tell me once again, what does the COA do? Now, stay away from the outreach for a bit, because I want to make that a separate subject. Barbara explained it very well, but for the people that may not have seen that show, what does the COA do? What advantage is that for me?
Well, we run a lot of activities, a support group. We have
a support group. What's that?
My Life, My Health. So several women come in, and the outreach assistant runs that program. And it's a support group, whatever health issues they have going on, and they're able to come in and be together and come up with different ideas on exercise or diet or whatever, is pertaining to their health issue. But again, the focus is on support.
To go to the COA in Halifax,
Correct.
do you have to be a Halifax resident?
Most of the time, but actually no. We have seniors from Plimpton because they don't have an active senior center here, although
that's right.
they do have a new director and she's working hard to get that up and going. We also service the town of Plimpton for Meals on Wheels because, again, they don't have an active senior center. So that's, great that we're able to just extend, and that's based on the director, being able to do that, making things accessible.
Meals on Wheels. I know what that is, I think, but why don't you explain how many Meals on Wheels do you do in a week?
Well, different weeks, and
Okay, it varies.
it varies.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there a charge for the meal?
It's a suggested donation. So if people aren't able to afford it, that is run through Old Colony Elder Services, and that is, how they run it. But they're not going to deny services for somebody that is unable to pay for that.
What would a typical meal be on Meals on Wheels?
The suggested donation is $2.50.
No, the meal itself.
Different things. It's a healthy meal. Low
Okay.
sodium, easy to cook. They come in a container that you put in the microwave. You're
great.
able to freeze them. So
Would
we
be
keep
like
it
a meatloaf or?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's one.
All right. I think, there are people, I run into a lot of people. I love people. I like to be around them. And they talk, gee, I got nothing to do. I got to watch television. I got to do that. I got nothing to do. I said, why don't you go to COA? COA, what's that? Isn't that down in Langley, Virginia? I said, no, that's the CIA. This is the COA. And everything is free except here in Carver, when you buy a lunch, it's $3. You pay $3. But you're eating with a group of your peers.
It's socialization.
Yeah.
Getting out
yeah.
of the house.
Get out of the house.
Yep,
If
meet
you
people.
isolate yourself, I have a very dear friend who just lost his wife. He won't go out of the house. I had to drag him out the couple of times I was out there. And he's getting a little dementia from not going out of the house.
Gotta move.
You've got to do it. Listen, we'll be right back. I want to talk about what an outreach person does when we come back.
Thank you.
Don't you people go away. We're coming right back. I'm back. Look at me. I'm back. Glad to see you again. Glad to be with you because wasn't for you, there'd be no need for me. I'm back with Brenda. Hi, Brenda.
Hello.
How you doing?
Great.
Yeah, you're doing great. I think you are. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about what an outreach person does on. To me, outreach means somebody that's going to wait till you pass them and they're going to jump out of the shadows and grab you. That's not what we're talking about, is it?
Well, no, outreach, there are a lot of duties for myself and the outreach assistant. One is to call people, seniors in town, check on them, maybe just say hello, see how they're doing, sometimes explain what outreach is, open up that door, try to build the relationship and trust. But I do hear a lot from people 90 or older, what is the COA, where is the COA, and Council on Agents or senior centers are for old people. And it's funny because our biggest group of people that attend our senior center are from the ages of 62 to 69.
That's the average age group?
That's the average age, the largest
okay.
percentage.
That's interesting.
So seniors that do call, or after we've built a relationship, we can help them with anything from applying for any sort of assistance they may need, as in fuel assistance, food stamps, and different programs we have.
How about medical?
Well, we do referrals. We have a SHINE coordinator that will help seniors, apply for health insurance. So we do luckily have a volunteer for that. She does extensive training, so
Now,
we're
when
able
you
to-
when you call people on the phone, is it at random? It's just a random thing? You just
Usually.
go to the phone book and pick out certain names, or is it computer generated, or?
Well, we try to have, we have our files and different phone
Okay.
numbers and
Okay.
people we stay in touch
Yeah.
with.
Yeah. Do you know the population of the town of Halifax?
Just under 8,000,
Just under 8,000.
and 1,561 of them are seniors. If you do the math, it's a big percentage.
You beat me to the punch. Say that again.
Just under 8,000, so and 1,561 seniors, so 25% of the population are seniors.
That's very interesting.
It is.
I was going to ask that question. Now I don't know what to say.
Well, it's the fastest growing population. We all know that.
I thought the town of Halifax was bigger than that, to be honest with you. I thought it was much bigger than that. So the town of Carver is bigger than the town of Halifax. But look what Halifax has got.
Right.
I mean, they've got a Walmart. They've got a Stop and Shop. They've got a great restaurant there, the Montpont Inn. They've got other great restaurants too. Grill 58, I believe, is in. And I don't want to. I'm not going to do a commercial here, but it's just. I'm not going to say more vibrant, but there's more going on in Halifax than there is in Plimpton or Carver.
Correct.
We have very good restaurants here too. I don't mean that. You know, it's like I always say to you people sitting home, let me get away from the subject just for a second here. Buy locally. Buy Halifax, Carver, and Plimpton. Because you won't get a better deal anywhere. If you can't find it in those three towns, then you can go someplace else. But the merchants want your business, and they deserve it. And they'll do a lot to get it. Believe me, I know. All right, outreach. Do they do anything else? Do you knock on doors? Do you go?
We go for home visits.
You do?
People that may just need a friendly visitor, or we check on them. It's called wellness checks. Part of our triad is we work with the fire, the police, and the senior center, and the sheriff's department. So different seniors that may need the lifeline or Meals on Wheels, the supportive services. So that's a very broad spectrum. So sometimes I'll do an assessment, go out and see what the needs are for that senior. You can learn a lot about somebody by going into their environment, into their home. And luckily, you know, some seniors have a good support system with family. They'll call the senior center, ask a lot of questions. If we aren't able to do that for them, we always find a way or a referral we can make and send them somewhere.
Yeah.
Never want to have an unmet need or turn somebody away.
I've only been to 2 senior centers. By the way, she used the term senior center. That's COA. That's Council on Aging. It's senior center and Council on Aging, the same thing. So don't let that confuse you. They're not 2 different places. They're not 2 different entities. You can go to the senior center, and while you're there, you're also at the COA. And if you go to the COA, by the way, you're also at the senior center. And you know, if you're lonely, if you've God forbid lost a spouse, or you don't have any family, living around here, I will guarantee you that if you go to the COA, you're going to be a little shy, of course, strange people, but in a very quick hurry, in my experience, they make you feel welcome. They greet you with a smile, greet you with a handshake or a hug or whatever. I've only been to 2 senior centers, one in Carver, one in Halifax. And I've always been greeted with a very, very friendly greeting. And not just because we're going to do a TV show there. They don't know who I am. There's no cameras in view. I just walk in. Of course, I am charming, and that counts for a little something. No wonder they want to hug me. But it's been a problem all my life.
Well, thank you for saying that. That means a lot.
Yes, it does. How long have you been doing this now? 19 months?
Correct.
No. Enjoy it?
Yes, I do. It's very rewarding. There are many days that we're able to help somebody, even get them into the center for an activity, give them a routine. Hopefully, you know, they're not home and lonely and depressed. Get them on a schedule, whether it be coming in for lunch or different groups that we have. And our groups are really building, but it's about getting the word out as we are doing right now.
If they wanted to go there for lunch, do they have to call up and make a reservation?
We ask that they do, but a lot of times we can accommodate.
Okay. You know, that's a good way to start off. You have to have lunch. And lunch at your place is $3?
It's $2.50.
$2.50. Cheaper than Carver. So if you don't mind spending the money on gas, Go to Halifax and get their lunch, $2.50. But it's a good way. You sit down, have a meal with people your age, or younger, maybe a little bit, or older, maybe a little bit. But you get to know somebody. We were just talking about this off camera, and I've talked about this on camera too. I have a very dear friend, my best friend in the whole world. He lives in East Bridgewater, and we've known each other since we were 10 years old. That's 77 years, 78 years, 79 years. That's a long time. Never had a bad word between us. He's so different than I am. He's very laid back, quiet guy. I am, as you know, a bit of a jerk. But that's okay. He just lost his wife. It's been 3 years now. And I drag him out of the house. We went to a class reunion, and I dragged him out. I brought him back. We went out for a lunch, and neither time was he enjoying it. So he's become isolated. Don't do that. Don't isolate yourself. I know how you feel. I know you're hurting, but don't isolate yourself, because now, the last time I went to his home, he had a problem knowing who I was. And we've known each other for almost 80 years. And finally, when I straightened him out, I'm not sure that he knew who I was. So these are the things that happen to you if you stay in your house and watch television or just sit there and stare off into space. I know it's very tempting to do that, but you've got to get out. You've got to get out. Am I right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's part of why we make the calls that we do. Try to, make them understand what we offer at the senior center. And it's great to see, people that come in for our programs and make a friend. Sometimes it's their neighbor.
You said a little while ago that you have 1,500 and some odd elderly people.
Correct.
How many people come to the senior center?
On average, I'd say it depends. For our van rides are over 5,000 van rides for medicals, errands.
This is a year.
That year, correct. So
Wow.
we have 2 vans. Meals, over 6,000 meals were delivered
A year.
last year. A year. So this is an annual report. For fuel assistance and food stamps, we helped over 150 residents. Newsletters, over 10,000 were sent out last year. So the newsletters is how they find out about the programs. And for the entire year, 11,475 seniors were helped last year.
Gee, that's great.
I know.
That's great.
Right.
I think that's great.
Right.
You open 7 days a week?
We're open 5 days a week.
5 days a week.
Monday through Friday.
What are the hours?
8 to 4.
8 to 4. Telephone number?
781-293-7313.
Okay, I'm going to have her repeat that. Give you a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds to go get a pencil and paper. Okay, you've had enough time. Time is money, What's the phone number again?
781-293-7313.
And you have a website?
We do, through the Halifax Council on Aging, right through the town of Halifax.
Okay, Town of Halifax.
Click it right onto Council
Go
on
there.
Aging.
If you've got a computer, go there. That'll tell you a lot also. But the big thing is, get yourself spiffied up, comb your hair, put on some makeup if you're a female, or if you're a guy, if you're so inclined, and go up to the Council on Aging in Halifax. I guarantee you, you are not going to be embarrassed, except for that brief moment when you come in the door. Oh, they're going to have a little churning around your stomach. I've been doing television, commercial, and public access for 40 years, and I was just telling Brenda that I'm so nervous every time I go on. When these guys point the camera at me and give me a 5 countdown, I am terrified until the cameras come on. So don't be isolated. Don't stay at home. I tell you what, I'll meet you there. Give us a call here at the studio. Tell me when you're going to be there. I'll meet you there. You're going to love it. Okay, we've only got a couple of minutes left. Is there anything, and that's your camera over there, is there anything you'd like to say to the people
There's another program that we started 3 years ago, and it's really reaching a broader spectrum of people in town. It's at the town hall. It's the first Thursday of every month, and it is sponsored and created by the Mass Council on Aging, and it's called a networking group. And what we do there is people come in that are looking to achieve an encore career, which is something that they've always wanted to do. They may have had another job and received a pension for 20 or 30 years, but this is their passion. So of course, being older, it's very intimidating to deal with computers and online applications and resumes. So that's what we do. It's run by a professional job coach and a co-facilitator, which is myself. I can be reached at the Council on Aging anytime. We also partner up with the Marshfield Council on Aging. They run their program the third Thursday of every month. It's 9 to 11 a.m., and it's a free program. The success stories have just been so inspiring. People come in from age 55 to 75 that, again, are going out to look for an encore career, something that is something they've always wanted to do, and we're their first step. So we work on resumes and cover letters and interviewing. We have job fairs. It's an incredible program, and the need was there. And a lot of it is to fight age bias, to not, be intimidated by that and feel like you're not going to get the job, to build that confidence and overcome it.
Did you hear that? I didn't even know about that. That's a new one on me. Does every COA do that?
There's actually only a few here in the South Shore, and like I said, the Marshfield and Halifax have teamed together to do that.
You want to go back to work? Why not? Not full-time, maybe, part-time? They help you do it. Free. They help you do it free. Would you work on a resume with them?
Correct. Cover letters, interviews, online applications, everything we're dealing with nowadays that people didn't deal with when they got their, jobs 20, 30, 40 years ago.
I know we've only got probably 30 seconds left here, but I am so delighted that you brought that up. That's the first time I've heard that. And that's a great program. That's a great thing. That's great.
It's inspiring.
Yeah. If you want to know more about it, go to the Halifax COA. Look at the phone number up there in the phone book, or go to your computer and go to the town of Halifax, and COA will be there, the Council on Aging. One more quick question. You got to give me a quick answer. Who funds the Council on Aging? Taxpayers?
Correct.
Okay.
Partly, a small part. That's a little bit of a tricky question. It's taxes and different.
You also get donations.
Yes, and some things able to fund themselves. Different programs.
Yeah. Well, you have been a very inspiring guest. I think that you have given a lot of information in a very short time.
Thank you.
From a very nervous lady. You did a great job, and I can't thank you enough. Can't thank Brenda enough, Barbara enough for sending her down here. And I want you people to pay attention to what she said, put it to good use, get yourself out of the house, and get yourself doing something constructive and productive. Until the next time, I'm Ken Simmons, saying, keep a song in your heart. Goodbye, and God bless.